Okay. I am live. I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on Instagram. I don't remember how to go live on Facebook now, but I do have my YouTube live posted on my Facebook. So hopefully that's enough. I don't think I want to mess with all that Facebook Live entails. So I'm just gonna start. Um, okay, so I don't know if I have any people with me yet. I know it is the middle of a. Oh, hi, Charles. Okay, so I've got one person. It looks like I've got one person on YouTube as well. So, good morning, happy Thursday. I don't know if you guys saw my post yesterday, but I decided to do a live stream yoga class today. I have just been trying to figure out what it is that I can do to help India right now. Yoga is ancient philosophy from India. I think it's important, especially as a yoga teacher, to send some help. So today is a live stream class, and I am encouraging you guys to donate to. I attached the Instagram to Direct Relief. Hi. Uh, and I posted a link on the YouTube. I posted a link on Facebook. The link is also in my bio on my Instagram. So you can donate to Direct Relief. They're sending oxygen to India. That was just an organization I found with a quick Google search. So if there's any other organizations that you believe in that you want to comment and link to this video, feel free to do that. If you want to just Venmo me, I can donate for you. My Venmo is Erica-Porter. But let's see if we can raise some money and help some people out. It's pretty rough there right now. So I know in America we've come around a new curve and things are getting better, but that's not the case in India. So we need to have practice. We need to practice empathy and try to do what we can. So if you are in the same place as me, I'm in school right now, so I don't really have a lot of money to spare. Maybe share this on your wall or on your Instagram story or something and spread the word. At least that's what you can do. Or share that link of the donation. Just try to spread the word and get it out there. And yeah, so hope everyone's doing okay today. I'm just going to do a little restorative flow for you. So feel free to leave me comments, say something if you don't have time to take the yoga class now. On Instagram, this should be good for 24 hours. I have it public on my YouTube page. So if you missed it, you can go to Erica Porter's. I think it's just Erica Porter under my name with my photo on YouTube, and take this class at any time you want. So, okay, well, let's begin our yoga class. Let me get a good swig of water. Okay, so starting, you want to try to find a nice, quiet, open space. We're just going to start in a comfortable seat. So rooting down into your sits bones, bringing your hands palm down into your thighs to find a little grounded feeling. And then if you're comfortable closing your eyes, you can close them or just take a soft gaze down towards the mat. And let's just start with a couple of deep breaths. So take a deep inhale, fill up the belly completely, and then open your mouth, sigh it out. Good. Do that again. Deep inhale through the nose. And open the mouth, sigh it out. One more time. Deep inhale. Good. So hopefully kind of letting go of some of that unnecessary, excess tension or energy that you might be holding on to and just settling into a quieter, calmer space. Hopefully a quieter and calmer breath. And just taking the first few moments of this class here to notice how you're feeling. So, not necessarily trying to change anything or fix anything, really just trying to bring some awareness to your general feelings and emotions, whatever that may be, good or bad. Just try to acknowledge them here. So, seeing if you can label how you feel. That is literally the first step to emotional intelligence, is being able to understand and recognize emotions. Sometimes we move so fast through the day and ignore that, but that is the power of stillness. So being here in a moment of stillness, things might come up, and this is your opportunity to observe, identify, acknowledge. And knowing that as a human being, you experience a full range of emotions, good and bad. So whatever you're feeling is okay, is legit. You get to feel that way. Being able to recognize, move through whatever emotion it is going to allow you to let go of it. But sometimes that takes a little time. So just another moment of stillness here. Take an opportunity to set an intention for your class. So maybe it has something to do with those emotions that you're feeling. Just trying to think about what it is that you would like to gain or achieve, or maybe it's something you'd like to let go of. And just dedicating this class to that intention. All while maintaining this calm and steady breath. Good. So on your next inhale, just slowly start to blink open your eyes. And then inhale, swoop the arms out and up with a little lift through the heart. Look up, palms touch. On your exhale, take the left hand behind you, right hand to the left knee. So a gentle twist here. So a slight engagement of your core to protect that low back, and let your chest guide you. So your chest is pulling to the arms, and then maybe you can look over towards that left shoulder if it feels okay on your neck. You don't have to force it. Don't force this. Let this feel like a kind of natural twist, warming up all these muscles that support the spine. Good. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, just coming back to center. Good. Inhale the arms out and up, palms touch. Exhale, twist the opposite direction. So right hand behind you, left hand to your right knee. Again, a slight engagement of your core. Let your chest guide you, pulling through the arms. Maybe you look over towards that right shoulder. Good. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, coming back to center. Good. Looks like maybe some more people have popped in. Hello. If you're just joining us, we're doing yoga and donating to Direct Relief to help India. So feel free to click that donation button and send some money to help send some oxygen to India. Good. So you're here in this comfortable seat. Bring your left fingertips to the earth beside you. Take that right arm up. Take an inhale. On your exhale, walking the fingers over, reach that right arm up and over. So get this nice stretch down the right side body. Try not to crunch the shoulders into the ears. So relax and find a nice long neck. And on your inhale, start to spin the chest open. Open that right arm, that palm up towards the sky, and feel yourself squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Let's take one more really good inhale here. And then on your exhale, start to spin the chest down. Keep reaching that right arm over, over, over. And then slowly bring the right hand down to the left. Feel this nice stretch. And then swoop the hands in front of you, coming all the way over to the opposite side. So right hand down, left arm lifts up and over. Feel that nice stretch down the left side body. Keep that left sit bone rooted down into the earth. And then slowly start to spin the chest open. Open that left palm up. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. Inhale. Exhale, really slowly start to spin the chest down. Reach that left hand over, 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 over. And then bring the left hand down to the right. Swooping the hands into your midline here and just fold down over the legs. So taking a few rounds of breath here, breathing into your hips, into your low back. Try to relax the head and the shoulders. So if you can take your hands a little wider and just let that head drop, maybe roll it out a bit. Good. And then slowly start to walk your hands back towards you. We're going to make our way into a tabletop position. So finding hands and knees here. Stack your shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees. Make sure you're spreading your fingers nice and wide. So if you ever have any wrist pain, just listen to this setup with your hands. So you want to bring your pointer finger straight towards the top of the mat. So that means that you kind of need to spiral that hand out just a little bit. And then make sure you've got your fingers spread wide, like you're giving someone a high five. I see that thumb crunch into the fingers a lot. So spread those fingers wide. Spiral the hand out just slightly so the pointer finger's facing forward. And then literally feel yourself gripping the finger pads into the earth. So kind of puff up through those knuckles. So that's activating your grip strength. So when you use some of those muscles in the hands, it's going to take some of the pressure off your wrist. So that over time will help distribute the weight and help relieve the wrist from doing all the work. So just kind of practicing that here. This is a restorative class, so you're not going to need it much, but we're going to do some cat cows here. So we're going to take the first two really slow. Tuck your toes on your inhale. Feel yourself pull that tailbone up towards the sky as if there's a string on your sacrum here, lifting up, and then feel the belly drop down. Feel the chest pull through the arms and then lift the chin, look up. On your exhale, untuck the toes. Curl the tailbone under, pressing into those hands to round through that upper back, and then actively tuck the chin towards the chest. Good, let's do that again. Tuck the toes, tilt the tailbone up, drop the belly, pull the chest through the arm, lift the chin, look up. Exhale, untuck the toes, curl the tailbone under, round the upper back, tuck the chin. Good. Do a few rounds here now with your own breath. So sometimes it feels really good to find some movement here. You can rock forward and back. You might even kind of roll out the torso a little bit as you do this. Just try to pay attention to those instincts. Let this feel really good. Good. Then just finishing up one more round. Good. And then coming back into this neutral tabletop. We're going to come into puppy dog pose. So keep your hips stacked over your knees. Reach your arms forward and then bring your chest, maybe your chin or your forehead to the mat. So really getting this stretch to the back of that arm, armpits, chest. You feel this counter move in that upper back. So you're getting that arch in the upper back. And then if you have the sensation that you're kind of falling forward, you can scoot your hips a little further back, maybe even tuck the toes for some stability. If you want to be a little bit more restorative here, just keep your hands palm down and rest. If you feel like being a little more active here, you can come up onto your fingers, lift the arms up off the mat. Remember to breathe Good. And then go ahead and start to walk your hands like one handprint back towards you. So again, set up those hands. Spin the fingers out just slightly. Spread the fingers wide, including your thumb, and then feel that little grip of the finger pads. Tuck your toes. Lift the hips and the knees for your first downward facing dog. So take some time to pedal the feet, stretch through your ankles and your calves. We got two of them. And then settling into some stillness here. So let's check out the alignment. So feet are hip width distance, hands are shoulder width distance. If you have broader shoulders, take your hands a little wider. You can even spin your fingers out a little bit more if you have broad shoulders. Now, I want to make sure that you're not rounding through that back like this. So finding a little bend in the knees, literally stick that butt up. So it's better to be here with that butt sticking up than it is to have straight legs with this rounded spine. So I really love a little bend in my knees. You can keep that slight little bend. It feels pretty good. Make sure your ears are in line with your triceps. Good. On your next inhale, slowly start to walk your hands back towards your feet, coming to a rag doll at the back of the mat. So feet are hip width distance. Bend your knees as much as you need or want, and then just hang here. So similar to that down dog, it's better to be here with bent knees than it is to be here. So if you feel yourself doing this, bend your knees, literally stick your butt out. Get this low back curve here. It's better to be here than it is to be here. So bend. Do I have to say it again? Did you get it? If you haven't looked at me, check it out. Better to be here than it is to be here. So bend your knees, stick it out. I have to say that a lot in class. So I can't see you, but make sure you're not putting any more stress on that low back. Just hang. Good. Keeping that little bend in your knees, just start to slide yourself up. So slide your hands along the legs, coming all the way up to standing. Ooh, take a moment. We'll just shake out the legs, shake out the arms, and settle into Tadasana at the back of the mat. So your feet are inner hip width distance. You want to make sure that the outside edges of your feet are parallel with the outside edges of the mat. You want to feel like your shins are spinning open. Your thighs are spinning in. Nope, opposite. Shins are spinning in, thighs spinning open. My bad. And then finding that neutral pelvis, a little engagement of your core. Relax the shoulders down, bring the palms forward to get this broadening across your chest. Shoulders and ears in line. Good. Take a deep inhale, let the arms rise up over the head. Exhale, take your left elbow underneath the right. So either wrap at the wrist here or grab opposite shoulders, whatever works for you. So left elbow under the right, wrap at the wrist, grab the shoulders, whichever works for you. A little bend in your knees. Inhale, lift the elbows up, forearms away from the face. Exhale, hinging and folding forward, taking a forward fold here with your arms bound, and then let gravity take over here. So again, a nice bend in your knees. Relax the head, shake it out, yes and no. Breathing across the shoulders, across that upper back. Good, one more deep inhale. Exhale, releasing the arms, shake it out. Good, keep that bend in the knees. Inhale, slowly start to roll yourself up. Slide the arms up the legs. Squeeze the shoulders up into the ears. Inhale, exhale, release them down the back. Shake it out. Settle back into that Tadasana. Inhale the arms up. Exhale this time, right elbow underneath the left. Either wrap at the wrist or grab opposite shoulders, whichever works. Little bend in the knees. Inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, hinging and folding. Relax the head and the neck. And breathe here. Good. Releasing the arms. Shake it out. Good. Inhale. Find a halfway lift. Bring the hands to the shins. On your exhale, come all the way down into a squat. So you want your feet to be separated just a little bit, but kind of maybe like an inch or two apart, not super wide. And then you're keeping those toes tucked. Take those knees down to the earth. See if you can bring your hands up to your hips. So this is called broken toe pose. I used to hate this one. It's still really hard for me. But we're working on flexion in our toes, flexion in our ankle joint. When you have happy feet, that reflects all the way up the body. So do your best here trying to breathe. If this is a lot, you can bring your hands in front of you and just kind of take off some of the pressure. Just trying to really breathe into this and let this stretch happen through the big toe. Specifically for me, the big toe, I really feel it. But it's all 5 toes, 10 toes. We have 10 toes. And I even really feel this pretty significantly in my ankle. Good. So I used to hate this pose a lot. This year, if any of you have been to my class, I know I saw Megan, you come to my class a lot. I've been teaching it a lot, and it's so much easier because I've been practicing. I would have been dying at this point a year ago. Good. So from here, bring your hands forward. Just release the toes. Woo. Sit back on the heels. So tops of the feet to the mat. Take a moment here. That's rough. Good. Now bring your hands behind you. A little lift through the heart. And then see if you can maybe lift the knees. Let's stretch through the shins and the top of the foot. Good. And then releasing the knees down. Big toes to touch, knees wide. Reach the arms forward. Take a child's pose. So forehead to the mat. So just taking a few moments here to breathe in your child's pose. Just going to check in. Hi, everyone. So I'm doing a fundraiser for India, trying to help them out. They've got a huge COVID crisis right now. So select the link, or on Instagram, I have the fundraiser button for direct relief. They're doing a fundraiser for India. So if you have the means, do that. If you don't have the means, share the link or share this yoga. We need to help our fellow humans out, tap into our empathy. Good. So from child's pose, just slowly start to walk yourself up. And we're just going to press ourselves back into downward facing dog. Good. From down dog, you're going to take that right knee, bring it up to the right wrist. Take the ankle, bring it up towards the left. So extending that left leg back for pigeon pose. If this hurts your knee, you can bend the back leg and just fold over for deer pose. So pigeon or deer, whatever works for you. Let's take a little bit of time here. Good. So slowly start to walk yourself up. Use your arm strength to lift the hips. Slide the right leg back. So take a moment here to just extend the right leg, kind of shake it out, get that blood flow back into the leg. And then when you're ready, you can press back into down dog. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, pigeon on the opposite side. So the knee comes up, the left knee comes to the left wrist. This ankle is kind of working up towards the right. You extend the leg back. Now remember, each side of the body is a little different. If you have any knee issues on this left side, don't force it. Bend your back knee, kind of get the zigzag seat, and fold over the leg. You get the same stretch in that outside of that hip, but less pressure on your knee. If you feel okay in pigeon, fold over here. So I say it all the time in my classes. Yoga is about finding this combination, this balance of strength and flexibility of your muscles so that they can properly support and stabilize your joints. So joints are where bone meets bone. There's tendons and ligaments that connect them. So when your muscles are strong and lean and flexible, they're going to properly support those joints. And when we feel pain in the body, a lot of times it's at a joint. So if you ever feel pain where bone meets bone or pain at all in a yoga class, don't do that. Back off, modify. If you don't know the modification, you don't have to do it. Skip it. If a teacher ever makes you feel like you have to do something, don't do it. It's your practice. You have the power and the right to do what's right for your body. So we're trying to create longevity. Yoga is about creating longevity in the body so that you can create more mental, emotional, spiritual energy. If we feel aches and pains and tightness in our body, that reflects in our mental body. And vice versa. If we have mental, emotional, spiritual pain, it can manifest as pain in our body. It's all so connected. So it's really important to figure out how to unify those. That's what yoga means. Yoga means union. Unifying the body, the mind, the spirit. Good. So inhale, rise up from that pigeon. This time just rock onto that hip and shake out the legs. You might want to extend the legs long and shake it out. And then we're going to take a wide straddle. So taking a moment here, if you have tight hamstrings, so the backs of the legs, if they're super, super tight, which a lot of people have tight hamstrings, that's probably one of the number one reasons I hear people say that they can't do yoga is because they're like, I can't touch my toes because of tight hamstrings. That doesn't mean you can't do yoga. You just have to be aware. So your hamstrings connect into those sits bones, those bony points at the bottom of the pelvis. Oftentimes when someone has, let me see if you can get it. When someone has tight hamstrings, this is what happens, this roundedness, because the hamstring connects and you curl and tuck the tailbone under in order to shorten that space. And we already sit at our computer desks like this, on couches like this. This is not the way you want to sit because it's just aggravating this position that we sit in for hours a lot of times. So sitting up on a couple of blankets or blocks can help, or bending the knees and then feeling yourself lift up and roll forward on the sits bone. So as if you were spilling the bowl forward, if the pelvis was a bowl. And it's okay if your knees are bent. You just work with where you're at. And this might be enough. You might really feel it here and you just want to breathe. And then your work, if you're here, is to see if slowly with your breath, you might be able to straighten your legs a little more. That's enough work. If you have straight legs and you've got that nice lumbar curve, you can start to fold over. So just work with where your body's at. There is no right or wrong. Every body is different. There are different muscle fiber types that some just aren't as flexible, and that's okay. You just have to understand what it looks like for you and your body. It's not a competition. So just taking a few more rounds of breath wherever you're at. And then inhale, start to rise up. Take your hands behind the knees, pull the legs in, shake it out. Good, so coming down onto your back, elbows down, and down onto your back. Taking the soles of the feet together, knees wide for Baddha Konasana. This color is throwing me. So soles of the feet together, knees wide. If your inner thighs are really tight and you feel it here, you're welcome to put a couple of pillows underneath those thighs to support it. And then the further those feet go down the mat, the less intense it's going to be. If you want a little more intensity, then just take those feet a little higher. Bring your hands to your belly, squeeze the shoulders back towards each other. With your hands on your belly, we're going to practice diaphragm breathing. So taking a deep inhale, fill up the belly and the chest, and exhale everything out the mouth. And then just closing the mouth, breathing in and out the nose if that's possible for you today. And then just feel this gentle breath. So when you inhale, the belly softly rises up into the hands. When you exhale, it softly lowers back down. So just practice this breathing. Really, so your diaphragm is this pancake-like muscle that sits underneath the ribs. There's no nerves that connect there, so you can't feel your diaphragm. Breathing with your diaphragm means that when you inhale, it's going to compress down so that you can fill up the lungs with air. And then when it compresses down like that, it pushes those internal organs. So that's why the belly expands. When you exhale, it concaves back up into the lungs, pushes carbon dioxide out, and then the belly lowers back down. So that is the way that we were born to breathe. That's the way that if you watch babies breathe, their stomach goes up and down. But when we get stressed out, we try to take over that breath. We get into that fight or flight, that stress response in the sympathetic nervous system. And that chest breathing starts to kick in. So these shallow breaths in the chest just goes, and we don't even get into that diaphragm. So it's important to understand that really what you're doing when you breathe in this rest and restore parasympathetic space, you're just relaxing through the chest and the shoulders and trusting that the diaphragm will do the work. So you're not forcing the belly up and pulling it back down. You don't have to do any work. You just calm down and relax through the chest, and then the breath, the diaphragm breath, will take over. So I encourage you in moments of stress, like when you're driving in traffic, or maybe you're having a difficult conversation or just anxious for whatever reason, to bring your hand to your belly and relax the chest and just feel the diaphragm breathing kick in. So what happens when you breathe using your diaphragm and get yourself out of that sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, is that those hormones that are active when you're in fight or flight, adrenaline, cortisol, they start to balance back out. So when you have excess cortisol, excess adrenaline in the body, too much, not when you need it, it can cause all kinds of things to happen. Cortisol is responsible for excess inflammation, so excess fluid that specifically goes around your joints. So if you have excess fluid in your joints because of stress, it can put pressure, and that can cause pain in your joints simply by being stressed out and having too much cortisol in your system. So simply breathing using your diaphragm can help reduce that cortisol, reduce inflammation in the body. It's so simple, but it can be challenging to remember. So just practice that here so that when you're out in the real world and stressors are coming at you, you'll have had this practice skill that hopefully will meet you when you need it. But it takes practice, consistency. Good. So go ahead and use your hands to pull the knees together. And then just pull the knees into the chest. Take a little rock side to side, massaging the low back. Good. And then from here, you're just going to start to straighten the legs up. So they don't have to be super active. Just kind of keep a little bend in the knees, relax through the feet. This is called waterfall pose. So from here, you can just kind of maybe find a little movement, rocking side to side. If you want to crunch the toes or roll out the ankles, you can do that. So this is like legs up an imaginary wall. So there's a pose called legs up the wall in yoga that's really, really beneficial. And this is basically the same thing. I'll just keep talking science if you don't mind. Excess inflammation, going back to that idea of having this excess fluid in your joints. So if you're someone who has to stand a lot for work, you might have excess inflammation around your ankles or your knees. They might kind of get puffy and painful. So your lymphatic system that holds all that fluid isn't on a pump like your heart rate. So when you flip upside down like this, you can literally drain out that excess fluid just by being upside down. Another really cool thing that happens here is that because that blood flow has to work against a different direction in gravity, it slows your heart rate down. And when your heart rate slows down, that slows down the nervous system. So this helps you get into that rest and restore parasympathetic nervous system just by being upside down. So this is a great pose for insomnia if you have trouble sleeping, because it kicks into that parasympathetic nervous system. And sometimes when you can't sleep at night, it's that overactive sympathetic nervous system that's keeping you up. So something simple as this can help you fall asleep. Good. So from here, slowly start to bend one knee and the other. Take the foot back down. Notice that kind of hot, cold sensation as that blood flow gets back down into the feet. Good. And then extend the left leg long. Pull the right knee in. So interlace your hands around that right shin and squeeze the knee over to the right armpit and roll out your ankle. This is my ankle that pops a lot. Good. So from here, you're going to take your knee and just bring it in just slightly in towards your midline. So as if your knee was going to touch your sternum, the center of your chest. There's this kind of inner hip pinch that you might feel getting into those deep hip flexors. Good. And then from here, find supine twist. Take the knee all the way over to the left. Take your right arm out to a T. So try to keep that right shoulder planted. You can just let that left knee come over, maybe towards the earth, maybe touching the ground. It doesn't have to touch. Sometimes that left hand can help encourage it. Might feel nice. Good. So bringing that knee back in. We're not quite done with this knee. So we're going to come into half lotus. So taking a hold of the outside of that foot, see if you can bring the left foot up towards the left hip crease. So it's okay if it's down on the thigh, but see how high you can get it up on that hip crease. And then mindful of your knee joint. So if you feel pain at your knee joint, then back off of this. You don't have to do this if it hurts the knee. So be very cautious as we move into the depth of this pose. So you're going to start to move that knee down towards the earth. Again, if your knee hurts, back off. Don't force it. Just taking that knee down. So this is half lotus. You feel this kind of at the hip joint. Good. And then lifting that leg. Grabbing the back of the thigh with your right hand. And then just taking that knee over to the right armpit. And flex the foot. Reach the sole of the foot towards the sky. Maybe you can grab the calf, excuse me. Maybe you can grab the outside edge of the foot. So don't force it if you can't get the foot. Just grab the back of the thigh. So it's a half happy baby. Good. And then releasing that right leg long. Pulling the left knee in. So this time take that awkward interlace of the hand. So the one that you typically go for, release it, and then just shift the fingers down to that awkward one. And then pulling the knee in, getting that little squeeze over towards the left armpit. Good. Now pulling that knee just slightly in towards the midline. So as if that knee was going to touch your sternum. You kind of get this inner hip pinch. Getting into those deep hip flexors. Good. And then coming into supine twist, reaching that knee all the way over to the right. Take your left arm out to a T. Try to keep your left shoulder planted into the earth. It's okay if this knee doesn't touch. Just use that hand to kind of encourage it, but never forcing it. Just see where your body takes you first, and then see if you can find that edge. We say that a lot in yoga classes. Find your edge. It basically means that you figure out where you can comfortably go, and then you add just a tiny centimeter of effort. So you're kind of pushing just a little bit to feel yourself kind of moving forward, but you're not going so far that you're going to hurt yourself. Because remember, we're trying to create longevity in the body. I know sometimes we want to be at a certain point, but you got to be real with yourself, be authentic with where you are, and then take those little tiny steps towards where you want to go. Oftentimes things don't happen as quickly as we want them to. So you have to have that patience, that compassion for the process. Good. Inhale, pull that knee back in. All right, so we're going to come into half lotus on this side. So grabbing the outside of that left foot this time, trying to bring it up to the hip crease. It's okay if it's down with the thigh. Just see how far up you can get it. And then mindful of your knee joint. If you feel okay in the knee, you can start to move that left knee down towards the earth. Never forcing pain, never forcing through pain. I've said that probably like 20 times this class, but just so you know, never forcing through pain. Good. Bringing that knee back up. Grabbing the outside of the thigh. You can take one hand down with the left hand, and then just see if you can bring that knee over towards the armpit. Flex the left foot, bring the foot towards the sky. And then maybe you can walk your hand to the calf. Maybe you can get the outside edge of the foot. Just don't let yourself kind of curl up like this. Just relax the spine down. Let the legs do the work here. So grabbing the outside edge of the foot causes you to kind of crunch up, and just grab the back of the thigh. Let's do one more inhale. And then exhale, pull the knees back into the chest. We'll roll for the sacrum, one direction and then the other. Good, pulling both the knees in towards the armpits. So take the knees wide in towards the armpits. And then grab the backs of the thighs. So this whole time, keep your whole spine relaxed on the back. Relax on the mat. And then flex the feet. Take the soles of the feet towards the sky. If you can keep your back relaxed, take the hands up. Maybe you can grab the outside edges of the feet. Not needing to touch the feet if that means you're straining the back and the neck, because we already put so much stress on the neck and the back in this direction. Let it stay relaxed. Good. And then go ahead and squeeze the knees together for one last time. And exhale, releasing everything long to the mat. You're finding your final Shavasana. Now I'm going to let you guys stay in your final Shavasana as long as you want. Since we're here live, you're welcome to just close out and stay in this Shavasana as long as you need. So Shavasana is all about just doing nothing. So I know sometimes doing nothing seems lazy, I think is the word, but it's not. Because doing nothing allows time for everything to process, for all these things to, I kind of think of it as like when you're learning new things and taking in information physically, mentally, emotionally, it's like all these little explosions happen through the body, all these new awakenings. And then when you let yourself be still and rest, it's this time to let the dust settle so that when you wake up again and get back into your life, you can see things a little more clearly. So, not only is it important and good to rest and be still, but it's actually very necessary in order to be the best version of yourself. So, whenever you feel ready to rise up into a comfortable seat, feel free to do that. The teacher in the light in me honors, respects, and sees the teacher in the light in you. So, again, um, this class today was a fundraiser for specifically, I chose Direct Relief with it, which is an organization that's raising money to send oxygen to India for COVID relief. If you have another organization that you support and that you like, feel free to donate to them. Feel free to share the link in a comment here for anyone else. Um, and I am so appreciative of you guys for joining me today. It's been really fun because this is what I did last year at the beginning of the pandemic. I don't know if you guys remember, it was every day at 11:30 for like 3 weeks. I did a live stream yoga class, which is actually what kind of kickstarted me into my Patreon online. So I have a Patreon page. It's Eric Porter Yoga, um, and I kind of got the confidence in front of the camera from last year doing these live streams with you. So it's fun to be back with you today. And hi everyone. I hope you enjoyed the class, and it'll stay live on my feed on Instagram for 24 hours. But I also have done a live video on YouTube that will be there for the public for whenever you want it. So if you go find me on YouTube, it's Eric. I think you can just search Erica Porter Yoga, and it'll be there for the public to see if you want to take it if you missed it today. Feel free to leave some comments, leave some love, and hopefully go donate. Go donate to Direct Relief or any other organization that you like to send some money to India to send some relief for their COVID surge right now. So, all right, y'all, love ya, and I'll see you soon. How do I end this? Don't remember. There we go. All right, bye guys. Bye, YouTube.